talk today a little bit about being unashamed of being a homemaker, helpmeet to your husband, a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, because I think especially with family gatherings, it's like, oh, so what do you do? What are you doing? What have you been doing?
Yeah. Anytime with any family gatherings or really any get-together with people who are, Scott calls them normies, but like people who are just doing what culture says to do without even questioning it.
Following the cultural norms.
All they know is that women should be working outside of the home at some career corporate job. And so if you're not doing that, you've just made yourself weird or unrelatable. And so I've been on this journey for 4 years now of not having a culturally accepted answer to the question of what are you doing? We just want to encourage you that it's okay that you will be misunderstood for the life decisions you have chosen to make, and it's okay that,
Don't expect people to understand what they don't have a vision for. You know, that's all we can do at the end of the day is give people a positive vision for what God's ways are. You know, we're not feminists. We're not pushing our wives out to go and be boss babes. And, you know, because I think that's the kind of like soft feminism in all of this is like we expect women to have constantly more academic stuff like, oh, you're not a PhD.
Yeah.
You're not doing your master's. Like, you're not in school, you know, or like constantly climbing the corporate ladder. Like, oh, you're not a boss babe, you're not, you know, doing all the boss babe, Sex and the City things. And so we can't argue with people and be like, well, actually, you know, that's not God's ways. You know, God's ways are for a household, to have a household economy, to have a household where children are actually the priority. And so to farm your children out to a, you know, child trafficking prison complex that's giving your children a mind virus and destroying their souls. Like, you know, to say that to people at a gathering is just like, yeah, not going to happen. So just take that expectation off. Like, don't expect people to understand and don't be offended that they don't understand.
Yeah.
Just you have a positive vision, be confident in what you're doing. Because that's for us, like, yeah, we love our life. We're confident. We have a clean conscience. And we know where we're going. We know what our vision is. So when people are like, if they're genuinely intrigued, if they genuinely want to know what we're up to, and then yeah, we'll tell people what we're up to. But if they're just like, oh, what do you do? And it's like, oh, you're not a PhD brain physicist.
We pretty much try to avoid those questions at this point because it's like there will be no understanding for any answer we give for those things, and that's okay. Like, we don't expect you to understand because you've never questioned the status quo to begin with of like, why would you leave your home to go work for another man if you don't have to? Like, and majority of women don't have to. They just like all the luxuries of...
Or they're stuck in fear of man. Like, they really do fear what other people... Like, what if people think I just sit at home and watch Netflix all day? And it's like, yeah, you'll be so busy that that's not even an option. Like...
Yeah, it's really funny too. I think I was telling Scott yesterday how it's just really sad because my answer this time around, I've given the answer of homemaker or helping my husband. And because there's no picture of that, of like, what are you actually doing? I don't really feel like saying those things are actually a helpful answer because the vision for homemaking is gone. No one even knows what that is anymore.
There's no vision for it.
So this time around, I decided to say, oh, I've been gardening and preserving food. And again, there's always blank stares, and that's okay. But I was just telling Scott afterwards, I was like, you know, it's really funny. Like, growing your own food and preserving it, like, what could be more beneficial than someone who knows how to grow their own food and save it in the culture that we live in? But we live in such a feminist world that it's like, wait, you're not an engineer, or you're not, you name this career job, like, you garden. It's just so funny to me how that is something looked down upon. So I think our biggest encouragement is to try to not be offended at people for not understanding the lifestyle choices.
Yeah, they're such normies. They are caught up in the cultural norms. You know, you're bombarded from school, from media, from church even, with go to college, go get a job, outsource everything. You know, so for us who are bucking that system, you can't be angry at the normies. You can't be resentful of them. You forgive them because they don't know. They don't know any better. And it's not going to, you know, if we don't have any authority over them, if we're not like some credible doctor or pastor, or, you know, it's like, you're not going to convince them otherwise. So don't be offended with them.
Yeah. And the next thing is to not feel like you have to justify yourself. And that's where I've come to the point of almost avoiding these questions, because unless someone, like Scott said earlier, is genuinely hungry, or it's a younger girl that doesn't know, I'm happy to talk to young girls about what I do and for them to be confused, because most young girls just have never seen a woman older than them choose to live a different way. So
and give them an option.
Yeah, and like talk about it positively of like, yeah, get married, have children. Like, this is a blessing to get to be at home and serve my husband in the way of taking care of the home. And so with younger girls, giving a positive vision is really important. But girls that are my age or women that are older, I honestly just try to avoid this topic altogether, because either they're going to...
Yeah, there's such a sunken cost with all the ladies. Like, they can't change the life that they've lived. So it'll either be heavy resentment.
That's what I was going to say. And bitterness of like, well, that must be nice.
Yeah. Or condescension of like, you were wrong and you're stupid.
Yeah. And then you end up replaying in your mind over and over what you said and how you could have said it better. And so, yeah, I hope that this is encouraging.
Yeah.
I
so
think
relax.
Everyone that's chosen this lifestyle, like, always comes into these scenarios. And it's pretty sad, but it's where we are. And I think the only way people will ever change is if we give an example to the younger generation.
Positive vision. Yeah.
So we bless you. We hope that you have easy conversations as you gather together with your families, and that, that you may be encouraged that you are doing the right thing. Following God is always going to look silly to people
foolish.
who follow the world's ways. So God bless and Merry Christmas.
Praise God.